All right, guys and girls. So here's a quick breakdown on DXY. So basically, we are going to be reviewing some of those markets, and we are going to understand, the projection and the expectation of those markets. So currently, this is DXY, and let's just take a brief moment to check out the monthly time frame. So I want to show you guys that you can see that last month, right? It's towards the end of the month already. This is 27th of October. And if you guys look at last month's performance, right, both buyers and sellers actually came together, to form a doji, right? So this is a doji market, and this appears at a support trend line, right? Now you can see that this month performance is actually, the buyers are actually gaining control, right? Now let's put this in mind. So let's go over to the weekly time frame. So this is going to be a quick one. And just to give you a brief, now as you can see, we had a double bottom formation right here, and this double bottom formation appears at this this trend line, this downtrend, and everything right here is actually a correction. We have the wave 1, the wave 2, and wave 3. So we are expecting the third wave to the upside, and this could actually happen for the next couple of months or weeks, right? And now having this double bottom formation shows a possibilities, because this formation appears at the end of the trend, and in a downtrend. We also have a double top formation that appears at the top, right, in an uptrend. So it changes the direction from an uptrend to a downtrend, but in this case, this is from a downtrend to an uptrend. So having this in mind, that the weekly time frame is giving us this kind of formation, so we are going to know exactly what to project when we get to the lower time frame. So as you can see, last week actually formed a doji formation, and this appears at a resistance structure. You can see this is last week. So currently this week there is no much movement at the moment. The market is kind of very slow, but let's go over to the daily time frame. All right, so here on the daily time frame, you guys can see we have a direction. Now this is the double bottom formation that we found on the weekly time frame, and as you can see, very interesting, right? Now, one thing we need to understand is that everything right here, okay, is actually a correction, and based on the concept that we use, okay, this is wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. So everything right here is an extended. The reason why it's an extended is because we initially had a 3-wave formation right here, and price was meant to give us the next impulsive phase of the downside, which never happened. And you can see we have the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, but the next impulsive phase did not happen. So now everything right here becomes the 1, 2, and 3. So now the most important movement right now is this particular bullish movement. This is an uptrend, and right here you can see we have the impulse correction, and the impulse to the upside. Now you guys can see that currently this is daily, so it is very, very important that we pay attention to the candlestick. And if you guys can see the candlestick right here, okay, it is showing us imbalance, right? Buyers and sellers are still trying to struggle out, the direction of the market, where they are likely to push the market to. And what I was actually thinking before, because just like I said, we might actually have extended correction. I mean, there are two types of corrections in the market. We have the simple and the complex. You can see this is a complex correction, right? Everything right here, we actually need a minimum of 3 waves. Now, based on the fact that this is the impulse correction, impulse and correction, so this could be the next impulse to the upside. But at the same time, because this resistance structure is not broken yet, just like how we said, this is the resistance structure, so this make this correction to be fully completed. And that's one thing that about the market, it always move in phases. So once the previous phase has been completed, then the new phase is going to begin. Now looking at this current direction to the downside, it might actually look like a complex correction, because already this particular correction to the downside, we already have a 3 directional wave. Okay, if you check the 4 hours time frame, you are going to see the three. We are going to see everything very soon. But you can see that now we just need to see this market going to the upside and breaking above this resistance structure to the upside. And mind you, we already spotted out a double bottom formation. Okay, I know in the financial market there is always the probabilities and the possibilities. Now the possibilities of this market is that everything in the market is probabilities, right? But there is also a possibility aspect. Now the probability aspect is that price is likely going to go to the upside, but at the same time there is also a possibility aspect where this could be the wave one, and with 2 and with 3 to a downside, and everything right here still belongs to a correction, so there is no invalid movement in this market. But now one thing we just need to pay attention to is the fact that look at the candlestick that the market is forming right here. All this candlestick, they are giving us, you know, kind of imbalance among those, you know, participants in the market. If you look at last week Thursday, you can see right here we had a gravestone doji, and you can see this is also a doji right here. And look at today's candle, right? Today also is forming almost the same thing, though the day is not over, right? At the time of recording this video, the day is not over. We have about, you know, few more hours to go. But looking at this, right, if price close as this, now it all shows that, you know, both the buyers and sellers are still kind of, you know, struggling to know the direction, the next directional phase of the market. So this is the reason why we always have to be very, very patient with the market, you know, so we can actually get in at the right time. Very, very, very important. Now let's go over to the 4 hours time frame so we can see this particular movement, you know, that is forming this indecisive candle on the daily time frame. Now you can see this is on the 4 hours. Now the reason why I said, you know, everything like this is actually a correction, and the reason why we already projected a complex correction is because you can see we had wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and this could be the next impulsive movement, but this previous high structure is yet to be broken, so we could have everything here, every single thing here as one, which is wave 1, and wave 2 and wave 3 to the downside. So this is the reason why I said there are possibilities aspects and there are probabilities aspects. So we always need to be aware of the possibilities in the market. All right. Now looking at this, right, you can see that at the same time, right, this could be just like how we had a correction right in this movement. This is the second wave, and this is also a correction. Okay, but then, right, there is also something called majors. Some of my students would know about all those things, right? There's major highs and the major low. Looking at this movement right now, what I would say the major is, this is the major low, this is the major high, and I want to mark this level as a major low, right? Because there could still be a further movement to the downside. But once we have a break further to the upside and breaking above the structure, then this is going to be the major higher low. So what I feel like is this could be the, you know, wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. All right. So price of this resistance structure could get broken at any time, but just to have, you know, an idea of what possibilities that we can have in the market, we can actually have more bullish movement, because this is a bullish continuation formation. This is what we call flag formation, and it's already this is actually appearing at a resistant structure. So of course there are possibilities of price going further to the upside. So let's quickly go over to the 1 hour time frame. All right, so as you can see on the 1 hour time frame, we have right here, so within this particular bullish flag continuation, we actually have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, and wave 6. So of course this is actually looking good for now. So we are going to know, you know, the next thing once we have a break of this structure, because I personally, I'll be anticipating a break of this resistance structure, because this is the previous high structure. So I will be anticipating a break of this resistance structure right here. So once I see a break, then we are going to be looking forward to go long on DXY, I mean on USD JPY pairs. So now let's go back to, I hope you guys understand those activities that we just did on DXY. So let's go back to USD JPY and let's see if there are possibilities on USD JPY. And guys, don't forget to join our Telegram channel. The link is going to be on the description, and also check the comment section. You can find the link to our Telegram channel. So first of all, let's go back to the monthly. So let's just quickly brush down on what is going. So I'm going to clear all of this so you guys can actually see a clear direction. Now, during our live session yesterday, Sunday, we always have our live session every Sunday. So I would recommend that you guys don't miss out on any of our live session. Now you can see right here. So we actually projected this to be a symmetrical triangle or descending triangle. So however you want to picture it out, but this is actually a continuation formation. We have the bullish impulse and the correction, and you could have the next bullish impulse. We have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, but this could be the next impulsive wave if we have the break of this resistance structure. Now looking at this current month, today is 27th of October. Look at this current month. So the month is coming to an end. By Friday, the month is over. And if you look at this month was bullish. But if you look at last month was actually an indecisive candle, right? Showing that, both the buyers and sellers are kind of on the same, level, right? So that was what brought up to the fact that this month was bullish, right? So now let's go back to the weekly time frame. All right, so you can see right here, we are currently on the weekly time frame. So this week right now is kind of still looking bullish, right? You can see this is for this week. And if you take a look at last week candle, you can see last week actually was bullish as well, right? And if you look at last 2 weeks candle, right, it's kind of more of indecisive, family, you can see, but it actually has a small body. Now, one thing I want to put your attention. Now, everything right here you're seeing, right, we already spotted it out on the monthly time frame. You can see this is a continuation formation, everything you're seeing right here. And we have the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. So this could be the next impulsive phase. So now, one thing that we always put into consideration is the fact that you can see that this is a resistance structure, right, a resistance trend line. And when price, give us a resistance trend line, and we now have a strong bullish candle, right? This bullish candle right here already seemed like engulfing candle that engulfed the previous week, right? So now this is giving us a confirmation. Now every resistance zone, whether resistance structure like this, okay, or resistance trend line, there are active sellers at those zones. So when price approach a resistance structure, it is necessary for the sellers to always overthrow or to show more strength. But in this case, you can see that the strength among the buyers is kind of getting much stronger, right? I mean, on the previous week, which was on still this month actually, on the 6th of October, we actually had a rejection. You can see this massive rejection right here, right? We actually had a rejection, and the sellers actually had their chance, because this rejection was caused because of the selling activities, right? Buyers gain control and they approach this resistance structure, but the sellers at this resistance structure brought the market to a downside. Now, if you look at this particular week, right, this particular week, which was on the 13th of August, so the sellers had their chance, but you can see it was still more of a struggle between the buyers and the sellers. So now, if the sellers were truly strong, they should have actually taken over the market. But looking at this right now, it shows that buyers were more of competing with the sellers. They were more of on the same level. But you can see right here, last week totally changed the whole, give us more insights. You understand? Now looking at this week, right? So if we have more bullish opportunity, it's actually nothing to be surprised about, because these are the things that the market is saying. Look at the previous high. This is the previous high structure. So I am anticipating for price, if we have more bullish movement based on what we have on DXY and based on what we saw on the monthly time frame for USD JPY last month. I mean, this month is bullish, so there could be a continuation of the bullish movement in the following month, which is November. Now, this is going to be the resistance zone where price is going to approach. So without further ado, let's go over to the daily time frame, so we can see more of this direction on the daily time frame. Now you can see right here on the daily time frame, if you guys remember, this is actually the fourth wave. Okay, this fourth wave likely could be the next impulse, right? So let me just try to shrink down so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So right here we have the wave 1, we have the wave 2, we have the wave 3, and this is the fourth wave. But now once we have a break of the structure, this is not going to be a fourth wave, it's going to be the next impulsive phase. All right, so this is just how the whole thing works. So we always emphasize more on, every correction should actually give us a 3-wave movement. Now looking at this fourth wave movement, right, is still actually a correction, everything right here. But now no one will know that this is a correction. Everything right here now seems like an uptrend, right? You can see we have bullish impulse, bullish correction, bullish impulse, bullish correction, and the next bullish impulse to the upside. So they are all moving within this ascending channel. All right, they are all moving within this ascending channel. But now, just like what I do tell all of my students, market always move in phases, right? And before a new phase began, the previous phase must have ended, right? You can see. So we have this is the current phase, this particular upward movement, because this downtrend, right, which is a correction, has already ended. This uptrend has also ended. This correction right here has also ended, and this uptrend has already come to an end. But the only active direction that we have in the market is this particular direction. But looking at this direction, what could we understand? I mean, this is just a question that we can actually ask ourselves. Sometimes we can just try to expand, right? Now, looking at this, we have bullish impulse, we have the bullish correction, bullish impulse, correction, and the next impulsive move to the upside. When you see price giving us a very deep uptrend, always watch out for the resistance structure, because the resistance structure are always going to be broken at any time, because this is where this resistance structure belongs to the sellers and the support structures belongs to the buyers. So the people who are in charge of this market direction are the buyers, so they should always break out of the resistance structure. So you can see how this resistance structure was broken. This also was broken. So this is just what I'm saying. I hope you guys understand that. Now this was the previous high structure which was broken, so we should actually see this resistance structure being broken. I mean, if the buyers are really that strong, let's just mark this level. Actually, this level has been marked on the lower time frame, but it is not showing because sometimes I always try to hide them so I could have a clean chart. Now you can see we have a very interesting analysis. We have the impulse correction, we have the impulse. All right, so we have the impulse correction, we have the impulse correction, and we could have the next impulse to the upside and breaking above this resistance structure. But you guys can see that for some days right now, okay, for some days, I mean, since last 2 weeks Friday, which was on the 17th of August, right? This is 17th of August. That was on Friday. We actually had a pin bar, or some people call it AMA, this actually appears at a support structure. We could actually extend this further to the left, and you can see this is a very nice structure. So this happened, and since Friday, okay, since last week, all through last week, we've been having bullish movements. You can see everything. There was no single bearish candle, right? And this is for today. You can see that today also is even bullish. Now there is no there is no rocket science in this. We look at past results, okay, past activities, so that we can actually have an overview of the future movement. Now looking at this, right, there are high possibilities of price giving us more uptrend because buyers are still in control. Looking at the monthly, okay, this month was very, very, very bullish, right? And couple it down with the weekly time frame as well. So let's go over to, we need to see, because we are not sure if price is going to break above this resistance structure. It is more like a war between the buyers around there versus the sellers around there. Okay, so the sellers are going to try their best to push the market to a downside, and the buyers also will try their best to keep on pushing price to the upside. So it is more like a war between these two participants, and this is one of the interesting part of the forex market. All right, so right here on the 4 hours, as you can see, we are gathering information starting from the weekly. We started from the monthly, weekly, daily, and finally we are currently on the 4 hours now. So I'll just try to delete one of these because I said I already marked out the resistance structure on the higher time, on the lower time frame. Now looking at this, right, you guys can see that I actually have a wedge formation, because this wedge formation is kind of appearing at a resistance structure, and this is a reversal. Now this is the reason why we don't just trade blindly, because we can't find a wedge formation right now, and because of this we start placing a short position because there is no confirmation about this. All right, there is no confirmation at the moment, right? This wedge formation could actually fail and price continues further to the upside. So we always need to be very, very patient and wait for a proper confirmation. Now looking at this, right, this is this is an uptrend, right? And within this uptrend we have the bullish impulse, correction, impulse and correction. We have impulse, and this could be the correction, and the impulse should actually or might actually begin. Now looking at this structure, this could be a retest of the broken structure. So now we actually sent this analysis, right, on our Telegram channel. So if you're not yet on our Telegram channel, make sure you join. The link is actually on the comment section or on the description. You are going to find the link. Now we posted this analysis that we are expecting further movement to the downside, but we are always, we always trade with confirmation. We don't just trade blindly. All right, we trade when we have market confirmation. So this is just what makes us stand out of the of the crowd. Now let's go over to now understanding this, right, is give us possibilities and probabilities, right? There is possibilities of price going further to the downside, and even if price goes further to the downside, now it could be this is the wave 1, we have the wave 2, and we have the wave 3. Okay, we could see further movement like this again, and then continuation, and then you see price breaking above the previous high structure. So this is now the major impulse. We have the major correction and the major impulse to the upside, because we just need to be well knowledge on price activities, possibilities of the market, and the potential. So when price is changing direction, right, sometimes it doesn't change the direction fully to the downside like this, and when price is coming to the downside, we pay attention to the uptrend, to the resistance structure. This is the only way we can know if the guys in control of this market, which is the sellers, if they are getting weaker or they are still gaining strength. Okay, so pay attention to the resistance, and the price is going is going up, which is an uptrend. We always pay attention to the support level. Now you can see there is no support level that has been broken, so we can't really take a position. And okay, let's go over to the 1 hour time frame. All right, so you can see on the 1 hour time frame, very interesting. Now we could also extend these further, right? We could extend this further, and as you can see, this is more like a retest of the broken structure, and we could have the next bullish movement. You guys can see how we have bullish impulse, bullish correction, bullish impulse, bullish correction, and the next bullish impulse to the upside. We are not yet in any positions because there is no confirmation at the moment, because patience is always the key in the forex market. We always need to exercise patience and wait for the right time for the market to play out. And what I'm actually expecting from the market, you can see we have, okay, so let's actually see this. So now you can see what I'm actually expecting. We have the wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, right? And this could be the wave 4, but this wave 4 right now could be the next impulsive phase, right? And you're already seeing some things like this, which is a short retracement or a pullback that might lead price to the upside. Well, at the same time, I'll be very, very careful because the eye must be broken. So even if I want to place any position, I am placing my buy at the break of the structure, because this could be wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and the price can actually still go further to the downside, because this is wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. So there are so many. I mean, we can actually have more than 3 waves, sometimes 4, 5, or 6 or 7 waves. Right, so this is just the expectation. So I would recommend you joining the Telegram channel so you don't miss out on any of these market activities. So let's go back to GBP USD. All right, very interesting. So on GBP USD, so let's go over to the monthly. So like I said, the reason why we are going over to the monthly is basically because of it's towards the end of the month, right? And if you guys can see what happened last month, we also have, so basically across all the dollar market, DXY, USD JPY, and GBP USD, we all have the same activities that happened last month, which was September, right? We all had a doji. Now looking at this month, right, you can see that the market gave us, a bearish candle. Now there could be possibility of, further movement to a downside in the next couple of weeks, because this is going to be a new month, right? So this month is going to be over by, the 31st of October, which is on Friday. So now let's go over to the weekly time frame. Very important. All right, so now on the weekly time frame, so I'm just going to brief you on this, right? As you can see, during our live session yesterday, we already gave a valid insight on this market, right? This is the bullish impulse, and this could be the potential bullish correction. And you guys can see the structure, which we already marked out. So this is a structure which we are looking forward to see the market pulling back to. We have the second wave, the third wave, fourth wave, and the price approaching the structure. Now, anything from this structure, price could actually move forward to the upside or continue movement to the downside. So it doesn't really matter. This is higher time frame. We only come on the higher time frame like this to collect data. We need to know more information about the market before placing any position, right? We don't just buy randomly or sell randomly. Now, taking a look at last week candle, right? Last week candle actually gave us a totally bearish candle, showing us that, after you can see that last 2 weeks, this particular, week candle, we actually had a rejecting this particular structure, right? I mean, I said all of these things during our live session yesterday. So I was actually expecting price going further to the upside. So that was actually my expectation. But looking at this, right, although I was actually anticipating for a little retracement, but eventually the retracement ended up to becoming, very, very extensive. And this is the reason why we have a very solid red candle or bearish candle. And eventually we also had the break of this support structure. So let's go over to you can see that this particular week candle, right, is actually, this current week candle is still active and still forming. So let's go back to the daily. All right, so looking at the daily, right, we could see a clearer insight on what is going on. Like I said, we have the wave 1, we have the wave 2, and wave 3. Now, this third wave, right, this third wave is, still giving us a good vibe. We have the bearish impulse, bearish correction, bearish impulse, bearish correction, and we could have the next bearish impulse to the downside. And basically you can see that for some days we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have about 6 days of bearish candles, right? And today actually happens to be although today is not over, so we can't really tell, but you can see that today currently is looking bullish. Sometimes these bullish candle might be due to more bullish opportunity. It can actually be due to a correction on the lower time frame. Okay, I was meant to say that. So it might actually be due to the correction on the lower time frame. So sometimes a full day, 24 hours, can actually form a correction, and the following day you will see the market pumping down in the next direction, right? But mind you, everything right here still belongs to a correction. You're going to see everything right on the lower time frame. But now the most important direction now is this particular downtrend. Okay, this upward movement has finally come to an end, because you can see we had a break of the structure. This also has come to an end because we had a break of the structure. So the only active one is this particular downtrend. You can see what I'm saying. So this is the only downtrend. Now this is the previous high, and that's why I have this resistance. So I can actually extend this further. Now let's go over to the 4 hours. So I hope you guys actually understand the whole explanation, right? This is something you can replicate. And if you guys have any pair you want us to analyze, feel free. You can always, give us a message, or always comment down, below the this video. You can comment, and we are going to have that recorded, so we can actually give you a full breakdown on the market you want us to analyze. All right, so now you can see. So we actually gave an analysis today, right, that we were expecting further bullish movement to the upside. Now the idea behind this is because there are possibilities in the market, just like I said in when we were analyzing USD JPY. There are possibilities, and at the same time there are probabilities, and we always need to have that in mind. So we are going to know the one that has the highest odds, and also not just that, we are also waiting for confirmation. Now if you were expecting price to go to the upside, will you just buy, because of a break of resistance trend line? This is not really a good way. So you're buying because this is a probability aspect, and because of the break of this resistance trend line. This is not the right way to trade, right? Because we also have the possibilities of market going further to the downside. So we need to know the one that has the highest odds, if the probability aspect or the possibility aspect. So not just buying or selling, but also waiting for confirmation. All right, the confirmation aspect, every trader has a way to confirm their entry. We can do analysis, but the most important thing is your entry criteria. Very, very important. How you get into the market and how you exit from the market. This is what we call trade management. Managing your position when you're in a position, how do you manage the position. So that is very, very important. Now looking at this, right, when I said that we were expecting price to drop a little before moving to the upside, right, this was what I mean, right? You can see we had a double bottom formation, so I was expecting price to retrace at this structure. So imagine, you can see what I was trying to say, that now we always need to wait for confirmation, because I'm expecting price to turn around from this structure zone. Doesn't really mean that when price approach this retest level, I will start buying immediately. It doesn't mean that. So even during this period, we were still looking for selling opportunity because the lower time frame said so. And that's just the reason why waiting for confirmation is mandatory. Now, right here, I still feel like price could continue further to the downside, but at the same time, there is also possibilities of price going further to the upside. All right, so we are expecting either movement to the downside or either movement to the upside. Now, I'm going to give you some things to watch out for, so we can, this is just on the 4 hours time frame. We are going to go over to the 1 hour time frame so we can see what is going on within this direction. This is actually a wedge. Okay, this is a wedge. I mean, this is still a downtrend, right? But everything right here, everything right here is a correction. And the reason why I said we could actually have price going further to the upside is because of the complexity of the market and having a complex correction. We have the wave 1, we have wave 2, and wave 3 further to the upside, approaching this resistance. Don't mind the drawing actually, but this is wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3. So approaching this resistance trend line. Okay, so very, very important. Now that's just the if price breaks further to the upside. Okay, now let's go over to the 1 hour time frame, and we're going to see, this downward movement. We're going to see it properly. Okay, very important. Now you can see we have a clearer look, and so once we have a structure here. So we have a structure here. So this was where price gave us, a downward movement. So now one thing is that we could actually have more continuation moves to the upside, but at the same time, we also could have more continuation moves to the downside. And based on what we have been doing from DXY and USD JPY, if you could remember, we are actually expecting further bullish movement. Now, one thing is, if DXY is going to the upside, USD JPY also is going to the upside, then you will see GBP USD, most likely going to the downside. And based on this, you can see right here we have, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, and this is the correction. So based on this, right, just like this is a correction, we have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. Now, so let's go back to the 30 minutes so we can see this. So I still believe that price may likely go further to the downside, and the reason is because if we extend this, so this is actually a support structure. The previous low, we have, just like how we have wave 1, wave 2, and wave 3, then price went back to the downside. We also had the same thing right here. We have the wave 1, 2, and 3, and then this is the 4th wave. So this could be, right, this could be, with what I'm seeing right now, this could be the head, the left shoulder, and the right shoulder, still currently, active. It's not yet fully formed, so we are going to wait patiently. So you can see I'm not placing in a position at the moment unless I see some levels of confirmation. So I mean, this is just what every traders need to always have in mind. Now make sure you have this on your watch list, and let's watch out on this market. If you have any question, always comment your question or reach out to me privately. I'll do well to respond to you, whatever question you might have. So this is actually what we have for now on GBP USD. We have already revealed USD JPY and DXY, but we are going to leave gold for now, we are going to do that on our next video. You can see that, I mean, gold actually moved pretty well. All right, so, but don't worry, we are going to give you guys more update on gold, and you guys will actually have an overview on what to expect on gold. All right, guys, so thank you very much and stay safe. Make sure you subscribe and enjoy yourself.